I mentioned the 13 children that my grandmother had. 2 died at infancy, so there were 11 who grew up. The eldest was Big Davy. You didn't know him, I'm sure, because he died when I was very young. But he had that gorgeous son, Herbie. You know Herbie.
I didn't know him. I remember when he died in Florida.
That's right. Herbie, there are pictures of him when he went to private school, and he was gorgeous. However, he didn't turn out to be a gorgeous man at all. He wore a toupee, which is fine. I'm all in favor of them, but you could see the glue run down his face. So that really was not too attractive. And he was always with his mother. My children thought they were husband and wife because they were never separated. What are you looking for?
I was looking for the picture of all the children. You know, with the grandpa and, you know, Max and Celia. But we could look at that.
You'll find that in one of the bedrooms.
We can look at that later, I guess.
All right, I'll get it.
Okay.
And
You're talking about Herbie and Big Dave. They called him Big Dave, right? Wait. You're talking about the eldest.
yeah, he was Big Dave.
Big Dave, yeah.
Yeah, and your grandpa was Davy.
Yeah.
David for the other one. He was never Davy. But
Was he a big guy, Big Dave?
no.
Or just older?
Older.
I see.
The oldest. And my only recollection of him, actually, is tossing on a sofa because he was in such pain. I don't know what he had. They probably didn't know what it was either back in the olden days.
Yeah.
They've learned a lot. There's a lot they don't know, but they have learned a lot in medicine.
Yeah.
The company, the business, was equal shares for the 5 partners. And so Aunt Katie, that's Big Katie, had a share. And she worked, and so when she retired and went to Florida, she went with a full share of the company. Uncle Adolph, that's your grandfather's father, had a share. He was in charge of all the meats, and I could see him, even as an older age, carrying those great big pieces of meat. What do you call them?
The side of beef, you mean? Like
side of beef. He would carry them in, and he knew his meats. And interesting.
He was in charge of the meats for all the stores? But he wasn't, was he a butcher also, like your father?
What was that?
Was he a butcher also?
I don't know. I don't know. The other person who worked in the warehouse, who handled the things, was Victor.
I don't know who that is.
Victor was Grandpa's cousin.
What's his last name?
Selkovitz. Bernie Selkovitz is that strand of Selkovitz. You know Bernie.
Lives in Mount Lebanon, right?
He's in Mount Lebanon. And so that, I didn't know either Aunt Katie as a person that well, intimately. I know that she had an apartment in Pittsburgh, and I wanted to go to visit her. And she said, well, I haven't fixed it up yet. 10 years later, I wanted to go to visit her, and she still hadn't fixed it up yet. That was her excuse.
So there was Big Katie and your mother.
My mother's Little Katie.
Little Katie. So Big Dave, Little Dave, Big Katie, and
That's right.
And Katie.
That's right.
And did Big Katie get married?
Not again, no. She had an opportunity to, but she had to put a certain amount of money to help this person who wanted to marry her do something, I don't know. And she would refuse to do that. And I remember Grandpa sitting with her and saying, you have the money, if it'll bring you happiness, that's what money's for. Spend the money, marry the man, he's a nice man.
What happened to her first husband?
That was Big Dave, who died because he something.
Oh, so Big Dave married into the family. Oh, no,
No,
or
Big
Katie.
Dave was Grandpa's son.
Okay, Big Katie married Big Dave.
That's right.
I see. So she married into the family.
Yeah, she married into the family.
Okay, where was she from? Do you know?
No, I don't really know.
Okay. Do you want to go through all the children in order? Would that be?
That's too much time.
That's too much time. Okay, that would be a whole other video.
Yeah.
Tell us more about your upbringing. I remember you told a story about how you went to Carnegie Tech and how it was unusual for women to go to college at that time, and you were eager to do that. And
Oh yes, but it was the wrong college for me, and there was an article published there. It's really a school for. I went to the women's school, and I wasn't interested in any of the things that they were teaching. I really wanted fine arts, literature, that kind of thing. And I was in a business program, so I didn't do that. I cut classes. I went to all the lectures around that I could find, and there are lots of little groups to listen to in music, and I just went around and I went to different churches and found out about all the other ones around that I could. So I didn't do that well, but I learned. I learned enough. I still use the shorthand. It's interesting because Washington, D.C. is this, and that's a long thing to write, is Washington, D.C. I hate writing it when I can just go like that, do Washington, D.C. It is a shorthand to do. And so I did learn enough to be a good secretary. But I didn't want to be a secretary. But I did become a secretary after I was married. My first job as a married woman was secretary in the drama department. Now, if you have to be a secretary, I'm typing scripts and letters to important people and not business kinds of things. So that was great. And I was really considered one of the faculty. It treated me like one of the faculty.
that was at Carnegie Tech?
At Carnegie Mellon, that's right. That was a good job. So I did benefit from that. I only left for one wonderful reason. I was pregnant. In those days, pregnant women did not work.